Hello, this is Logan Pierce, and this is my presentation on session ID and cookies. We'll start with what session ID cookies are. Uh, let's say that you want to log into your bank account, you submit a username and password, and click login. The information is sent to the server. The bank then checks the information you provided against that database and ensure there's a match. If there is, the server will return your account overview page. You'll also create a session for the specific login event. Sessions are implemented as needed by the server. The session ID is given to you in the form of a cookie. You exchange your username and password for a cookie which contains the session ID. The server stores the session information in the database. When you log out, the session will be deleted from the server. It'll also instruct your browser to delete the cookie for the session. A cookie is a small piece of text sent by a server and stored on a user's computer by their browser. Common uses for cookies are authentication, storing of site preferences, shopping cart items, and server session identification. Cookies are produced and shared between the browser and the server using the HTTP header. For example, when you visit YouTube and search for 80 songs, this gets noted in your browsing history. The next time you open your YouTube on your browser, the cookies read by your browsing history, and you will be shown related 80 songs on your YouTube homepage. In essence, a cookie is a great way of linking one page to the next for users' interaction with a website or web application. A session can be defined as a server-side storage of information that is desired to persist throughout the user's interaction with the website or web application. Instead of storing large and constantly changing information via cookies in the browser, only a unique identifier is stored on the client side called a session ID. This is passed to the web server every time the browser makes a HTTP request. The web application pairs this session ID with its internal database and retrieves the stored variables for use by the requested page. This gives a breakdown of the syntax for creating a cookie. And we'll go over everything here. You're more than welcome to stop and read it. But the required things are the set cookies, the function used to create the cookie. The cookie name is required. It's the name of the cookie the server will use when retrieving the value from the variable. The cookie value is also required, but other things like the expiration time, cookie path, domain, security, and HTTP only are all optional if you want to add them, and they just add various other features. We want to create a cookie PHP. This gives an example of what it would look like, where it's a basic program that allows us to store the username in a cookie that expires after 60 seconds. Then to go along with that, we want to retrieve the cookie value by making a cookies read PHP. Now I'll go ahead and show a demonstration here. We can go ahead and open up the cookies read, and then we'll open up the cookie page. So we have that open. You'll notice it says the cookie's been set for 60 seconds. And this here, if we refresh this, you'll see that the username in the PHP motors pops up, because since we opened this, we hadn't started a session yet. But now we've started a session. Oh, this will be good for 60 seconds. When these 60 seconds are up, then this username PHP motors will disappear, and we'll just have the session ID and the ID number, which is created for us. Now we want to see a little more, so we're going to go ahead and create a session. So in order to create a session, we need to call the PHP session start function and store the values in the session array variable. So if we want to know the number of times that a page has been loaded, we can use the a session to do that. So if we go into here, go ahead and fix this. Then we can go ahead and open this again, and look, it says you're visitor number 1. So if we continue that, open it again, hey, visitor number 2. And it's counting up 1 each time it's open. Visitor number 3. Now what happens if we want to get rid of that? We can use session destroy. So we can go over to here. Fix that one. Some of these. And then we will go and open up. See, this one still says number 4. I think it may just take it a second to update. Let's see. Yeah, see, now back to number 1. And so then all subsequent ones will still say number 1 because the destroy is removing the ability for it to track. So even though we have this PHP session function counting everything, the session destroy is going back and removing it every time we open, just resetting it. So that's pretty much it. Here are the sources I used to help me put this together, but I want to thank you all for being here for the presentation. I appreciate it and look forward to any comments or feedback you might have. Thank you very much and have a good night.